Today on Awake and Activate, we're going to talk about what happens when you die suddenly. When I'm talking about suddenly, I mean just out of nowhere. You have been basically tossed out of your body and you're confused on what just happened. Not a long-term illness where you've been preparing yourself, but accidents or incidents that happen where you're alive and vibrant one moment, and the next moment you are completely removed from your body and you really are in a confused type state on what just happened, are you still alive, and what is going on. As many of you already know, I was in a car accident when I was 15, and I was pulled out of my body. Although I was still animated in my body and things were going on, my best friend told me all these crazy things that I was doing, but I saw the perspective of what was going on there. I saw the ambulances come, and then I was taken to another place where I was sitting on this log under this huge tree, and it was absolutely beautiful there. So much peace, so much love. Everything was in motion, and that beautiful, wonderful gentleman came up and sat down on the log and spoke with me. You may want to check out my near-death experience video if you want to see more on what happened with that situation. What a phenomena that was. So I would consider myself a lucky one that I was actually able to recognize that something had just happened to me and I moved on to another realm. Well, this isn't the case with many people. When things happen just suddenly or in a shock or trauma, they get confused and they do not understand. So they stay in this realm, not in bodily form, but nonetheless, they're still in the third dimensional realm, able to do fourth dimensional things, and they will attach themselves to people. Let's get more into that. Also going to read an article to you that's very interesting. Before reading the article, I want to show you that orbs, they're a common phenomena, and they seem to follow certain people. They will attach themselves to certain people, and we will talk more about why that happens and how you can rid yourself of these attachments. Think about the movie The Sixth Sense, for example, how they kept appearing to this little guy, and he needed to do some unfinished business, and then they would move on. They could be attaching themselves to you, thinking that you can hear them or do some unfinished business for them so they can finally release from this world. Or you could be a conduit that they're thinking that you can help them to move on. And not all of the attachments are good. It depends on the type of person and their life, basically on were they in service to others or self-serving. So things to think about. Okay, in this article, and also you'll find the link below to go and check it out for yourself. When spirits don't know they're dead. When newly passed spirits don't recognize or realize that they are dead. Why spirits don't know they're dead is a question often posed by the paranormal researchers and ghost hunters alike. Just a few reasons why spirits don't realize they're dead. Number one, spirits refuse to believe they've gone through the death experience. Number two, death is so sudden and traumatic, the spirit ignores the signs of having died. Number three, they are afraid of what the afterlife due to particular teachings by religious institutions. And number 4, the idea of dying was always terrifying to them. Okay, a spirit remains unaware of being dead is difficult for the living to comprehend. Yet, time after time, in ghost investigators, they found that this is to become a common occurrence. Usually, spirits are very aware that they're dead. There are many reasons why spirit does not cross over when the physical body dies. One of the most common but tragic reasons spirits stay earthbound and haven't crossed into the light is through sudden death. At the moment of brain death, when we leave our physical body, our consciousness jumps our physical shell and then enters the etheric body for a short time. If all goes well, we then process to the astral body for the complete crossing over experience. As mentioned, some souls either choose to stay earthbound or are so confused, perhaps by a traumatic death, that they've not become aware that they've died. For instance, if a suddenly kneeled over dead, it might not realize anything is wrong and may attempt to go about business as usual. Moreover, it might even go shopping for food, but then have no memory of bringing it home. As strange as it seems, this is an excellent example on how, in the dreamlike state, unaware spirits think and act. To further illustrate, I recall the 1999 blockbuster movie, The Sixth Sense. I just brought that up. Nice. The shocker comes when they are at the very end of the movie. The actor Bruce Willis comes to the sudden realization that he is actually dead. As our technology advances, people are actually able to take pictures, zoom in close, and actually see faces in these orbs. It's absolutely astounding. Now let's get into how they attach and where these common attachments happen. As we talked about earlier, it could be an accident, a vehicle accident. Maybe you accidentally got shot, like was given in the example with the Sixth Sense. Or you died in your sleep and you left your body and you have not recognized yet that you have crossed over or passed on. If you were to go to a cemetery, there is many disembodied spirits or orbs in these areas. It's not recommended that you bring children into cemeteries because children are so pure that they can attach very quickly to the child. They also attach to adults, and it's always a good thing to say before you're leaving the cemetery that you are not taking anyone with you. You are leaving as you came in by yourself, and that they are to stay there, because everything is done with intentions. And if you do not know how to alchemy or help them to cross over, then it's best just to leave them there and allow, if you are into that modality and are able to be that type of gatekeeper, to help them move on over to cross over, to do it right there at the cemetery. As we've just learned that a lot of people will have a traumatic or unexpected death experience which leads them into confusion, A lot of times they will stick around that accident scene or follow their body until they find somebody they recognize, a family member or something of that nature. And if it is your family member and it attaches to you, then a lot of times we ourselves can be that gatekeeper, that modality in order to help them cross over. But at the same token, we don't always understand what spirit or who they are, who they were in life. So it really needs to be somebody who's very firm in their understanding of this modality to help those who have lost their way or are in confusion to move on to the realm that where they actually belong. The longer that they stay, the more confusing it gets, and the more frustrated the spirit gets. And that's where we can find what people would call the phenomena of hauntings and things like that. But that's just someone that has been out of their body for a long period of time that is getting frustrated because they really do not understand or are so frightened of moving over to the other side that it really needs a specific person that has that modality in order to help them through. I hope you guys enjoyed this information. It's a darker topic, but actually it really is not, because if you do have that modality, you are always in service to others. Helping others who are in confusion to cross over to the other side is an absolute beautiful thing to do. If you find that you are surrounded by orbs, when you take photos and things like that around you, and you are not in that modality, it might be a good thing to find somebody to rid you of these attachments that seem to be following you around. And with that, always share what you know so we can all listen and grow. I love you guys so much. Have yourself a wonderful day. Peace.